Good day everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back to a new action camera review. For today we have a brand new one called the L1, and this one looks a bit different because it doesn't look like most other action cameras that we've seen here on the channel. For specs we have the Novatek 96660 CPU and the Sony IMX 078 image sensor. For pricing, this costs somewhere around $70 and you can find this on Amazon. Now, this camera supposedly can record in 4K at 24 frames per second. However, keep in mind that the Novatek 96660 CPU cannot record in real 4K. Therefore, all the 4K recordings that you're gonna get from this camera are in fact 2K recordings that are interpolated to 4K recordings. So starting with a very quick unboxing, the camera comes in a very good looking box. On the front we basically see the camera and the waterproof case, and turning the box around we are gonna find some of the specifications. The waterproof case looks different than anything that we've seen in the past, but that's quite normal due to the shape of the camera. The manufacturer suggests that the waterproof case is good to up to 30 meters in the water. However, I didn't actually go swimming, but I did have this in the water and the water didn't seem to go inside. Aside from that, like most action cameras that we've seen here on the channel, this one comes with a whole bunch of mounts and accessories. So first of all, you're gonna find the user manual in there. The user manual is in English and it's got a whole bunch of information. It's gonna show you how to use the camera. Aside from that, as I said before, we do have a lot of mounts. So if you wanna mount this on a bicycle, you're gonna find a mount for that. If you wanna mount this on a helmet, you can definitely do that. So definitely a lot of choices in the box there. The L1 has two important features. The first one would be the ability to control this camera over Wi-Fi. So the camera can make a Wi-Fi network and then you connect to that Wi-Fi network with your smartphone and you can control the camera right from your smartphone. You need to download an app on your smartphone in order to do that, and you can find the app in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store depending on what device you're using. Once you have that installed, you can connect and control the camera. You can access all the camera settings right from your smartphone. So if you want to change the recording resolution, you can do that. If you want to change the picture quality, you can definitely do that. And if you want to see everything that you have saved onto the SD card on your action camera, you can actually see all that right from your smartphone. So you don't have to remove the SD card, you can just see everything and download everything right on your smartphone. And the second important feature is the image stabilization. So supposedly the camera has gyro image stabilization. Now, I did have that on and off and I did a couple of tests, but unfortunately I cannot see the difference when the gyro stabilization is on and when the gyro stabilization is off. And here are a couple of clips with the gyro stabilization on and with the gyro stabilization off. So this time I'm gonna say that the gyro image stabilization doesn't exactly work, and hopefully that can be fixed with a software update in the future. The camera itself, it's made out of plastic, and as I said in the beginning, it looks very different than anything else that we've seen on the channel. On the front we have the lens, we also have the Wi-Fi button, and the Wi-Fi button has an LED around it, and next to that we have another LED that flashes whenever you're recording. On top we have the power button, an LED, the speaker, and the recording and the OK button. On the right hand side you're gonna find an HDMI port. We also have the micro USB charging port and the slot for the SD card. This camera can be used while charging, and that means that we have a car mode available as well, so you can use this as a dash cam. As for the SD card, I tried the 64 gig SD card, but unfortunately the camera cannot see the 64 gig SD card, therefore I had to use a 32 gig SD card. However, these 32 gig SD cards are quite cheap. Moving to the other side of the camera, there we have a plastic door that lets you access the 1000 mAh battery, and keep in mind that this camera comes with two 1000 mAh batteries, so you can find another battery in the box. Now about the recording time, if you're planning to record in 4K at 24 frames per second, you can get about 45 to 50 minutes of recording and about an hour and 10 minutes recording at 1080p at 60 frames per second. And lastly, on the same side of the camera, you're also going to find the microphone. Now, the microphone doesn't sound bad, but it doesn't sound as good as I've heard for other action cameras in the past. But I'm going to let you guys watch a quick sample so you can see how the microphone sounds. What's happening, everyone? This is our first microphone test. As you can probably tell, I am driving and the window here it's open, so it's quite windy in the car. But aside from that, you should only be able to hear my voice. So this is how the microphone sounds. And as you've heard, it sounds decent but not spectacular. And lastly, moving to the back of the camera, there we have a 2-inch display, but like most action cameras that we've seen in the past, the viewing angles aren't the best and the screen doesn't seem to get that bright, so whenever you take this outside, it's gonna be difficult to see the screen. And we are moving on to the most important aspect of any action camera, the quality of the video recording. So first we are gonna check out some video recordings that I've done during the day. Now, maybe it was just me, but the quality of the daytime recordings wasn't that amazing, and we've seen much better in the past. So next we are gonna check out some recordings that I've done at nighttime. And as you've seen, the nighttime recordings don't look any better, so quite unfortunate. Next we are gonna check out some pictures that I took with this camera. And I guess the quality of the pictures was decent, but we did see much better recordings and pictures for other cameras in the same price range. Using the camera, it's fairly simple. So first things first, you can zoom in with this camera. So if you hold the record button pressed for a couple of seconds, you can actually zoom in. And if you want to zoom out, you can just press the Wi-Fi button. The power button is also a mode button, so you can switch in between video recording, picture taking, settings and so on from the power button. Like most of these action cameras, we have a lot of settings available. So first of all, you can change the video resolution, and as I mentioned at the beginning, you can select 4K at 24 frames per second. We also have an HDR mode, and that can be useful depending on the situation or you're filming. We've also talked about the gyro stabilization, but as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't exactly work. You can change the picture resolution, you can change the languages, and we do have a lot of languages available. And aside from that, you can actually change the field of view. So definitely a lot of settings in there, but like anything else, you're gonna have to look through the menu and change whatever you need depending on the situation where you are. And it's time to conclude this video. So for its price, the camera it's quite average, and we've actually seen better action cameras for the same price. Now I do have a top 5 action cameras videos, and if you want to check that out, I'm gonna leave a link somewhere around here, so definitely check that one out. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, press that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.